XX here, and oh Jesus Christ, it's time to talk about more controversy. Why do I always end up having to talk about controversy on this fucking channel? Probably because I'm mostly known for Sonic and Persona content, which, you know, are two of the most toxic fan bases on the internet, so I don't know, maybe I just chose the wrong fandom to be a part of. I'm not entirely sure, but regardless, so those in the Persona community, you're definitely aware that Persona 3 Portable and Persona 4 Golden were just released on all platforms this past Thursday. And by all platforms, I mean all platforms. Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, and Steam. And not many people are really talking about the P4G port, mostly because it's just basically the Steam version, but like, you know, ported to other consoles with a few new additions, which is, you know, all it really had to be. The Steam port was pretty fucking solid. It was bare bones, but it was like, you know, it was what it needed to be. But what people have been talking about is the Persona 3 Portable port. Now, when it initially came out, there was a lot of people on Twitter. Like, for instance, I saw Gnarly put out a tweet about it. Nam's Compendium has been going on a fucking tirade about it. Basically, the P3P port looks like complete and utter horseshit. Well, okay, maybe it doesn't look like complete and utter horseshit. I don't know if I go that far, but it definitely looks rough. Now, look, people have been talking about this since before the game even came out. There's been talks, like, for instance, Mudkip on Twitter has been talking about it. Like, fuck me, Mudkip has not stopped talking about it since the first trailer came out. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. But yeah, it was pretty apparent from the start that this was going to be an AI upscale, not like a normal remaster. Now, in the initial launch trailer, the game definitely looked really rough. Like, I believe there was literally a screenshot where like there was like a bicycle in the background that was like blending in with a wall or something. Like, it was really bad in the initial trailer. But it actually ended up looking a lot better in the later trailers. And like, if you guys have been watching my channel for long enough, you know, as long as the game is playable, I'm pretty much fine with it. So I was never really bothered by it. But obviously there has been a lot of controversy on Twitter about this port and how good it is. Now look, I'm just going to quickly give you guys my thoughts on the port real quick. Does the upscale look good? Not really. The upscale is definitely rough, particularly with the backgrounds. And by the backgrounds, I mean the backgrounds for the visual novel cutscenes and for the actual point-and-click overworld. Those do not look great. And also, Nam's Companion pointed this out. Well, he apparently he DM'd Oziak, and then Oziak saw this. Basically, it was pointed out that the fire symbol looks like Oziak's fucking stick figure avatar, which is honestly one of the funniest things that's actually been pointed out. But aside from, you know, the background and Oziak being the fire symbol, I actually think the port looks pretty decent, all things considered. My general opinion is that, sure, it could have been better, but as long as this game is available to more people, I'm pretty much happy with it. Because remember, the PlayStation PlayStation Portable store was shut down. The PS Vita store is probably going to get shut down within the next year and a half. And buying this game physically on PSP, believe me, is not fucking cheap. I know, because I own it physically. So yeah, just having P3P actually be, or just any version of Persona 3 for that matter, be actually accessible to people is a good thing in my eyes. And the port isn't broken. That's my main thing. Like, honestly, after Sonic Colors Ultimate, I'll take fucking anything that's better than that game. Jesus fucking Christ, what happened there? This is definitely not one of those situations. The game is perfectly playable, and even adds a few cool additions, like the whole suspend point system. They brought back the suspend system from Persona 1 PSP, where like you can like do a temporary save. It's called a quick save in this game, which, okay, like, real talk, probably should have been in P3P and P4G to start with, considering they were put on portable consoles, but, you know, that's neither here nor there. But yeah, general opinion is that the port, sure, it doesn't look great in places, but generally, I still do think it's probably the best version of P3P, just for a simple gameplay standpoint. Like, look, let's be honest, if you're playing P3P, you probably don't care about the presentation all that much. You're probably there more so for the gameplay, and if you're there for the gameplay, it delivers. Like, if you're looking for presentation, you're probably going to go to FES. Which kind of leads into my next point. See, anyone who has seen controversy around any form of media, whether it be games, movies, TV shows, anything, knows that once something has been labeled controversial or mediocre, the floodgates open. And what I mean by that is, it all starts out, I actually put this out on Twitter, which, by the way, we'll get to the whole Twitter thing in a second, because holy fuck. I put this out on Twitter yesterday, that once something starts to be criticized, it starts off with legit criticism, like, you know, the background's not looking great and the Oziak fire symbol. I'm sorry, that's just not going to stop being funny. That's just not going to stop being funny to me. And yeah, it all started with legit stuff. God, that voice crack was bad. But then it starts to go downhill. See, once the legit criticisms are over with, then people start to come out and they start to use the controversy as an excuse to bitch and moan about minor issues, and they make them out to be the biggest fucking issues in the world. I'm sure you guys have seen this. Like, one of the tweets that's been going around on Twitter a lot is the one of somebody talking about the Persona Awakening scene from P3P and saying about how it looks really, really bad. And I don't disagree. I've been on record as saying that I don't really think P3P's cutscenes ruin the experience all that much, with the exception of 2 scenes. That scene is actually one of them. I think that scene is a lot better in the original. But, you know, for them saying that is fine, but I feel like people are missing the point here. Wayne, his boss, actually put out a really, really good Twitter thread sort of pointing out that, like, people should have known what they were in for here. Like, fucking Sega and Atlas never tried to say this is going to be the definitive version of Persona 3. No, they said this is going to be Persona 3 Portable, and they gave you Persona 3 Portable. Why the fuck are you bitching and moaning because the Awakening scene isn't the one from the original? They advertised P3P and they gave you P3P. What more do you want? And there's a lot of stuff like that, and then there's also people who are FES fans using the mediocre upscale as an excuse to say this is why we should have gotten FES instead, when in fact, no, this has absolutely nothing to do with Portable. This is just the fucking upscale being mediocre is all piss. This has absolutely nothing to do with Portable. Portable actually looks fine on the original PSP, and honestly, I don't even think it looks that bad on the newer consoles. It's just not great, but it's not, like, awful. It's not, like, off-putting or anything. So, I don't know. It just kind of pisses me off that people are, like, using this to slander the name of P3P in general, considering P3P, in my opinion, is the best version of Persona 3. Since I've said this before, I put gameplay before anything else. The gameplay is the most important thing to me, and P3P just has the better gameplay compared to FES. FES still has good gameplay. I will never... fuck me, I'm like one of the first people that will defend the tactics system and say that it's actually really, really good. And if you're going to say otherwise, go and watch Nam's Companion's most recent video where he beat the entire game of Persona 3 FES without using the protagonist. Watch that and tell me the tactics system doesn't work properly. I fucking dare you. So, yeah, I'm not to shit on the tactics system. FES is still a great game. I just think Portable's gameplay is better in several different places. That's what I meant to say. What the fuck is wrong with me? But yeah, my point is, I'm just sick of this trend, and if you follow me on Twitter, you probably saw that I put out a tweet saying that I was leaving Twitter over this. Why? Well, because I saw a fucking tweet saying anybody who recommends Persona 3 Portable to someone should be in prison for 5 years. You know, shit like this is not uncommon on Twitter, let's be real. But then I went into the replies, and I looked at the replies to the retweets, I couldn't speak there for a second, and found out that this person is not fucking kidding. That was the turning point for me. I've been wanting to leave Twitter for a while, but this is what pushed me over the edge. I have legit deleted Twitter from my fucking phone now. I'm done with the app, bro. Like, Persona Twitter has just ruined the entire app for me. That and the whole Elon Musk bullshit, like, I think it's time we moved on. But yeah, honestly though, this whole controversy around P3P, because let's be clear, this port of P3P, if you're someone who's kind of still on the edge about whether or not to pick up P3P, on the new consoles, no, dude. If you haven't played Persona 3, and like this is your only way to play it, no, you'll be fine. The game it's still Persona 3. It's still the same awesome game that was released on the PSP in 2009. It's still the same game. It may not look great, but as I said earlier, let's be honest, if you're playing P3P, you probably don't really care about presentation that much. So, you know, but yeah, this has just convinced me even more that we need a Persona 3 remake. And badly. Like, there's been rumors about the Persona 3 remake, which I've actually recorded, like, a video on the Persona 3 remake twice, and I've had to keep scrapping it because of all this shit that's going down. So, if you're watching this video, tune in tomorrow, where I'm going to be talking about the Persona 3 remake. Yep, this is kind of a two-parter. So, yeah, I just wanted to make this video because this whole controversy is just so fucking stupid. Like, I'm not saying that people are wrong for criticizing the game. If you're criticizing the game for the legitimate problems, like the fact that they didn't add fucking manual skill inheritance, which is just fucking baffles me, and, you know, the upscale not looking great, sure, fair enough. But if you're one of these people trying to say, like, oh, This is why portable is bad and FES is better. Like, dude, go fuck yourself. Like, genuinely, like, FES fans are like genuinely some of the most toxic people on the fucking internet. They're not all like that, but Jesus fucking Christ, they are. Oh, they're assholes. A lot of them are assholes. So, regardless, that's kind of all I wanted to say. This video was more of a rambly kind of thing because I was just so pissed off about this whole thing. Moral of the story is, if you're interested in playing P3P, just fucking go for it. It's still a great game. And that's basically it. If you guys want to see a full-on review of the port, then I could probably do that once I'm finished with it. I'm currently playing through it on the male protagonist chart. That's actually where this footage is coming from. So maybe once I finish it, I'll do a full review on it if you guys want that. So let me know about that in the comments below. Let me know about your thoughts on this in the comments below. Keep it civil, or I swear to fucking God. And subscribe if you haven't already. Remember to tune in tomorrow if you're interested in hearing my thoughts on the Persona 3 remake. And I'll see y'all next time. Peace.